what could happen tomorrow. That is why what we do today is so important.
Houston health officials reminding us all to keep doing our part to slow the growth of coronavirus cases, and that means keeping up the social distancing. We are doing more testing, which is the reason why more cases keep rising. Good evening on a Monday night. I'm Lynn Cannon, once again reporting from home. Here are the three major developments we are following for you tonight. 140 people have died from COVID-19 in the state of Texas. In the Houston area, there have been more than 2,800 cases, 400 new cases reported in the city of Houston alone today. But the mayor tells us most of those are due to a reporting backlog. People are getting better, thank goodness. 373 in the area have recovered so far, and a new model shows the outbreak in Texas could peak sooner than expected. Number two, crews are setting up a medical shelter of last resort in the NRG complex parking lot. It will become an emergency medical site for a worst-case scenario. And number three, more relief for families struggling to put food on the table. HISD reopened several distribution sites today and changed the process to make sure everyone is protected. We mentioned a big spike in the number of cases of COVID-19 in Houston today. It jumped to 402. That sounds like a big number. Adam Bennett joins us live downtown outside City Hall. Adam, it sounds big, but there's a lot more to the story. Explain it for us.
That's right, Len. As you mentioned a moment ago, there was a big backlog from one of the labs doing the testing. So about 2/3 of those cases actually date back to the middle of last month. And the mayor says one piece of good news in those new cases, no new deaths. Still, there are 10 deaths due to COVID-19 within the city of Houston alone. The mayor says that is 10 too many. That's why he says this month is absolutely critical in flattening the curve. He is again urging everyone to do their part and social distance. 68 city employees, including police and firefighters, have now tested positive for COVID-19. Many more have quarantined, and today Houston's fire chief says he is now requiring his firefighters to wear surgical masks at their fire stations.
Let's walk away when you're in a fight about something, you're arguing about something. Just turn around, walk away, go to another room, go to the backyard, go to the front yard. Just create space. Social distancing sometimes is not just about the physical and the virus, it's also about the mental, the emotional, and the situation that we're all dealing with, the added stress. Just take the time out, give yourself space, and most importantly, don't be afraid to call for help. We have
Yeah, and that was Police Chief Art Acevedo talking about a 70% jump in the number of aggravated assaults reported at homes just since the start of the stay-at-home orders compared to last year. Now, this afternoon, we also saw crews taking down volleyball nets in city parks. They have already closed playgrounds, they've taken down basketball rims, and they've sent park monitors. All of this to help limit the number of people and enforce social distancing. Now, today, Mayor Turner also announced a new program to help essential workers find childcare and also get some financial help as well with that. That's at findchildcarenow.org. And the mayor said that as of now, the hospitals do have enough capacity, including with ICU beds and ventilators, to handle the current caseload. Len?
Yeah, a lot of moving parts there, Adam. Thank you for the update. Today, United Memorial Medical Center opened a third testing site, this one located at the Jacinto City Community Center. It is for seniors and first responders, and dozens showed up this morning to get tested. Governor Greg Abbott gave an update on medical supplies today, saying there are 21,000 hospital beds available statewide, along with about 6,000 ventilators. He also says 30 of the residents who tested positive at that nursing home in Texas City are being given the anti-malarial drug hydroxychloroquine. It's a drug that's being touted by President Trump as a possible treatment for COVID-19.
As of today, about 30 patients are being tested with the hydroxychloroquine to determine whether or not it will be a successful treatment for those patients. They are, for the most part, in their second day of this testing regimen.
Medical experts say so far there's only been anecdotal evidence as to whether this drug can be effective against the virus. The Galveston County Health District says 146 people connected with that nursing home have been tested. We know 83 are positive so far. Right now, there are more than 7,200 COVID-19 cases in the state of Texas, and new data suggests the state's peak may come sooner than we first thought, perhaps even 2 weeks sooner. But we talked to an infectious disease expert who says that's something we should not count on because the numbers are changing by the day. Jason Miles taking a closer look.
Dr. Peter Hotez with the Baylor College of Medicine tells me the projected peak will likely change again. Like us, he's heard of some ICUs here in Houston already filling up with COVID-19 patients. That's the kind of data being used to help calculate projected peaks. According to the University of Washington's Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation, the nation's peak will be April 15th, with Texas following on April 19th. Just last week, projections were early May.
Well, there's nothing that we've seen now about the new modeling data that's come in to make us think we should do anything differently than the current plan. So the current plan for Houston is to aggressive social distancing until April 30th and then a reevaluation.
Hotez says we should concentrate less on projected peaks and more on continued social distancing and other measures, all meant to minimize impact on the healthcare system. Hotez has also suggested that the National Academy of Science convene experts like him to help navigate the COVID-19 epidemic for the next 2 years. Back to you.
All right, Jason, thank you. Awfully great to see this. HISD relaunched its food distribution program today. Those sites were shut down last week after a volunteer was exposed to the virus. Ron Trevino today taking a look at the precautions now being taken there.
For a lot of families, keeping kids fed was tough enough even before the pandemic. Now the need is even greater. The lines started early at HISD's distribution sites. One of the sites today, Milby High School. The cars were backed up for blocks as parents, many with masks and gloves, lined the sidewalks. HISD's distribution sites are open Monday through Friday at different schools and different times of the day. Each site gives out 500 boxes a day. HISD says this new process is streamlined and uses increased safety measures, including social distancing for staff and families. Here are the sites for tomorrow's HISD food distribution. McReynolds Middle School, Bastion Elementary School, Wisdom High School, Sam Houston High School, and Sterling High School.
And if you need help, text MEALS to 713-526-1111. We will send you that list of food distribution sites in the area, including schools and the food bank. We know there's a lot of disinformation going around on social media. That's why KHOU Mercedes and the Verify team are working hard to separate the facts from fiction tonight.
We are getting a lot of questions about the new travel restrictions. Someone wrote the Verify team asking, if I travel through Louisiana to another state, will I have to self-quarantine when I return to Texas? That is true. Governor Abbott's order makes it clear if you travel through Louisiana via those roadways, you will have to self-quarantine for 14 days when you return to Texas. It's mandatory. Another question we're getting is about the file tax extension date. Someone wanted to know, do I have to let the IRS know that I'm filing after April 15th? Well, that is false. The extension is until July 15th and it's automatic. So as long as you file by then, you don't need to contact the IRS or fill out any extra paperwork. And finally, someone asked us about the neighborhood bear hunts you may have seen on Facebook. Is this an activity for kids? Because if so, I'd like to play along. Well, that is true, and the way it works is homeowners post a picture of a teddy bear in their window, then go on their neighborhood app, take a picture, put their address there, and let other parents know where to find the bear. Parents take a break with their kids, map a route, and go on what's otherwise known as a bear hunt. Kind of cool, huh?
That is awesome. Thank you, Cheryl. Keep the questions coming. Email your questions to verify@khou.com. You can also reach us on Facebook or Twitter. Hundreds of patients have recovered from COVID-19, more than 300. Now their plasma could help those who are critically ill. We'll explain how it could help. And there is one virtual bingo game that every Texan would love to be a part of. You'll see why.
Rainy, drizzly, and foggy outside right now, and it will stay that way through the rest of this evening. Tomorrow, warming up with highs near 90 and tracking another cold front after the break.